As soon as the mask went on me, I left my body. It was like being in a tornado. I related all to the Wizard of Oz. That's where my mind went as a 7-year-old. I spun up out of my body, and the next thing I was in a cloud garden with Jesus. And he looked at me, told me, he welcomed me, he told me I would be okay. We looked down on the scene below, which was me and the doctors, and that freaked me out more because I was with him, I wasn't down there. But at that moment, I knew I'd be okay because I was with Jesus. The next thing I knew, I was waking up from my own surgery with a really bad sore throat. That was pretty much the end of my near-death experience, just being out of my body, having a witness of what I was seeing around me, and then coming back. So 35 years later, I found my way to ions. It changed my life. It gave me the answers I never had. Like, for instance, that ether was stopped being used at in the 60s because it caused issues with kids. When I was 7 years old, there was no words for these experiences. They hadn't been talked about. I had nobody. I had a church, but that wasn't something we ever talked about. So really, I had nobody to talk to about this, nobody. But it was different than a dream. It was nothing like a dream. I'd had lots of dreams. This dream stayed with me forever. Every little piece of it I could pick out and remember. So it wasn't like a dream that just kind of wishy-washies and kind of comes and goes. It was solid. It was part of my DNA. I love my story of Jesus because it's not like any Jesus that I ever saw in a picture or in a Bible or anything. He wasn't as dark-haired and complected as they would have given us, but he had a glow around him. And so mainly, his image was almost distorted because he was in such a glowing stage. And it was just kindness. I mean, it was love. There was nothing else besides kindness coming and emanating from him. But since then, I mean, I've seen lots of pictures of Jesus. I searched my whole life about Jesus until I saw a show on Oprah about a little girl named Akiane, who was a child prodigy painter, and she had painted a picture of her Jesus called Prince of Peace. I looked at that picture and I went, that's my Jesus. Everything about him. I wept. I got goosebumps. It got me excited. I'd never gotten a picture of Jesus that got me excited before, but her picture did. Since then, other people have also recognized that same picture of Jesus in their own Jesus, including a little boy named Colton Burpo, whose father wrote a book about it. Same Jesus. And when I read that book and I saw the picture, I went, okay, I'm not alone. He communicated to me because I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. But he told me I'd be okay because obviously he knew I was very frightened. And then he showed me the thing below us, which were the doctors working on me and telling me I'd be okay. They were making me better. That was really the only conversation we had. Because as soon as I shared it with my family, they believed me. I didn't have and it was 35 years after the fact. So by then, and I found ions, and I knew a whole bunch of other people that were having them. I didn't care if people believed me or not. I did not care. To this day, I don't care because I know what's true. So I've never had that problem. Once it was out of the bag, it was out of the bag and it wasn't going back in. Okay, what really, truly matters in life is showing up for others, being of service. That has always brought me to where I needed to be, always, in jobs, whatever. By showing up and serving, life comes to me and gives me the pointers of where I need to be. I just need to pay attention. And if I was to go back to my 7-year-old self and tell them what I know now, it'd be 2 things. Keep showing up and don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. Nothing.
Not even death.
Not even death. I don't have to be afraid of death, don't be afraid of anything. There's always something there to hold, to embrace you, to keep you safe and keep you in love.